About a year ago, I made a stupid doodle with an even more stupid pun, and it turns out that might have been how I defined myself as an artist. We can often be our own worst enemies when it comes to understanding our own art styles and ourselves as artists, which is why in today's video, I'm going to take a look at that dumb doodle, the stupid sticker I made, and how it helped me embrace my identity as a creator. Hello, my name is Matt Brotherton. I am a doodle geek living in Southern Missouri, and to help me deal with my bipolar disorder, I overstimulate by shoving all of the books, movies, cartoons, and online courses I can into my brain, and what comes back out is what I like to call my art. When I started doing this full-time a year ago, I promised myself I would create something new every single day. Either an illustration or a project of some sort that I might be able to sell, preferably as a sticker or a poster. As such, I've drawn a lot of new characters over the last year, and by far one of my most popular has been the Cannibal Snowman. And even though I thought it was just this dumb thing that I doodled, looking back it is clearly one of the most me pieces I did in the entire year. So today I'm going to revisit that same basic idea with a new character, while talking about how when we look at our art through the eyes of our audience, we can learn a lot more about ourselves as artists. I have to confess, when I first added this print to my pile, it was because I was doing my first market and I didn't think I had enough variety. So I kind of just printed everything I thought was good enough to go on my table. I didn't think this particular print would sell, and I didn't even think it would get any attention. To me, this was just a dumb joke that made me laugh. But within the first hour of my first ever market, people were pulling it from my pile and showing it to each other while snickering. Pretty soon they'd say something like, "Oh, it's available as a sticker." And then I sold one. And then I sold two. So I made sure the print was front and center on my display, and the next thing I knew, people were stopping, reading the words, laughing, then stepping up to my table and checking out my art. And that was the first big lesson I learned from this illustration. If something resonates with me, if it makes me laugh, chances are it's going to make someone else laugh too. And making people laugh is important to me. There is a lot of negativity living inside my head, mostly fear. That fear is constantly telling me I don't bring good to the world, I don't bring value to the world, I don't matter. And fear leads to anger. Anger leads to hate. And we know where hate leads. Fortunately, we also know the cure for fear is laughter. If I can make myself laugh, I can clean up some of that storm in my head. And if I can make you laugh, it means I'm inherently doing good. And Mr. Feeney gave us that command. We must obey Feeney. There is a second important factor to those laughs. Seeing that joy, even if it was a tiny bit for a brief second, gave me confidence. When I printed the Cannibal Snowman, I did so just to have inventory. I didn't think it was very good. I had drawn it in Illustrator using the mouse and thought it was pretty basic and pretty pathetic. In my head, I'm always streets behind all the other great illustrators I see on Instagram and YouTube. I suffer from pretty bad imposter syndrome most of the time. The snowman is not one of my best pieces of work, but people like it anyway. And knowing that gave me the confidence to keep going, to keep drawing, to keep sharing it, to keep selling art. I've done over 1,000 illustrations in the last year. Not all of them are bangers. Some of them are even bad. But when I look at the ones that people love, the ones that I've sold the most or the ones that get the most likes, it isn't the quote unquote quality of my art as I see it that matters if my audience is going to dig it. The things that get the most love are the things that I enjoy making the most for whatever reason. Corporate Cthulhu, or Corp Thulu, helped me exercise my personal demons about my previous career. I love, and am a little bit jealous, of the Zen monks that are the capybara puppy hamsters, and the Happybara reflects that. And a little axolotl enjoying a good book made me a cool uncle for a few minutes, and that's always worth it. These are my most popular illustrations. They are my best sellers. They're not my most traditionally valid art, but people like them because they tell a small story and have puns. People love puns. Looking back at my little snowman, one last most important lesson becomes clear. People like it when I let my weirdo self out into the world. I spent a decade working in marketing and communications, and somehow I lost track of a very important fact that I think everyone in that industry would recite, even if they don't understand it. Authenticity matters. Trends come and go. All art runs through trends. After a few decades, we might call them movements, but the truth is Post-Impressionism and Rococo were just art trends. The ones that we remember come from the artists who were true to themselves. If you want to learn more about my actual creative process, check out this video about how I created Blobfish Silver, jazz saxophonist. But before you go, be sure to like this video and subscribe so you can join me and let your freak flag fly. Remember, as always, stay weird.